You are exhausted in a way that sleep won't fix. And that exhaustion is not just metaphor. Jesus revealed to the chosen a blunt physical truth. Your fear, your shame, your anger are being harvested as real energy, called LOOSH, by beings the ancients called Archons. What you feel as chronic drain, brain fog, or the nagging sense that something invisible feeds on your miseries is the symptom of an actual theft of your life force. This is not a parable. It's a description of a mechanism you can learn to shut down. That description didn't come from a Hollywood script. It comes from teachings hidden for 2,000 years. The Lost Gospels and the Nag Hammadi texts, the Pistis Sophia, and the Apocryphon of John. Those records show Jesus teaching his inner circle techniques to stop being food. They were stripped from public view and buried for a reason. Once people knew how the harvest worked, the supply stopped. That suppression matters to you now, because ignorance is consent, and the fewer people who know, the easier it is for the drain to continue. Here's the core. LOOSH is produced whenever you identify with low-frequency states. Terror, shame, rage, anxious fixation, and the Archons and their systems are structured to keep you locked there. Jesus' secret was practical, not mystical. He gave methods to withdraw consent, to witness instead of fuse, to cut energetic cords, and reclaim your attention. That changes everything. The exhaustion, the chronic illness, the politics, the panic on the news, they stop being personal failures and become symptoms of a targeted extraction you can counteract. This is urgent because every minute you remain unaware, you're topping off the harvest. You don't have to wait for salvation to come from outside. The way out begins inside. Now you must learn the first concrete thing Jesus taught his chosen: how to stop identifying with the feeling and become the unshakable witness. And that is where the explanation continues. You wake up heavy despite rest, carrying a drain that feels older than any recent task. You sense an invisible architecture that feeds on fear, on the reactive flicker beneath ordinary decisions. The ancient mechanism consumes your negative charge and transforms it into something it harvests. LOOSH, a concentrated output of suffering. Non-physical entities collect this energy through patterns anchored to routine reactivity. Recognizing that your exhaustion is not merely bodily, but a systemic extraction is the first practical step toward reclaiming sovereignty. You are part vessel and part field, vulnerable, where patterns of fear and compulsion repeat. Those repeating patterns act like channels, inviting interference and intensifying parasitic pressure until ordinary moments produce harvestable LOOSH. The process is neither mystical nor random. It operates by predictable mechanics. Attention funnels into fear, breath constricts, your energy signature drops frequency, and collection points activate. Understanding these mechanics gives you leverage. Change the funnel, adjust the vital breath, and the parasitic pressure has less to feed on. The core secret lies in anchoring a monadic anchor inside your vessel, a focused point of self that refuses fragmentation. Establishing that anchor stabilizes your pattern and raises the base frequency, making it harder for collection points to latch on. Practically, cultivate steady, vital breath. Return attention to the anchor when fear flares, and practice short resets that realign your signature. Each reset is a micro-suspension of parasitic pressure. Repeated often enough, it interrupts the harvesting rhythm and restores a measurable increase in sovereignty. Building a frequency shield is practical and repeatable, not mystical showmanship. Begin by setting clear attention boundaries. Decide where your focus goes, and pull it back when it wanders into fear. Use posture and rhythm of vital breath to lock the shield's waveform, tightening around the vessel. Clear minor interferences by doing brief scans of sensation and releasing reactive knots. Over time, the shield becomes automatic, reflecting low-frequency probes rather than absorbing them, so parasitic pressure encounters a barrier instead of an open channel. You will learn to spot the small escalations before they become harvests. A tightening jaw, a quickened breath, a thought loop that returns to worst-case images. When those signs appear, execute a compact protocol. Pause, ground into the monadic anchor, lengthen the vital breath, and reroute attention to a stabilizing element. These actions do not rely on avoidance, they change the waveform of response. Repeated practice converts reactive cascades into neutral pulses, which reduces the energy available for LOOSH production and diminishes long-term parasitic pressure. People, places, and routines can serve as conduits, sometimes unknowingly reinforcing collection architectures you encounter. Protecting sovereignty requires readable signals, quiet boundaries, intentional presence, and repairs to your vessel when it shows wear. In conversation, maintain the monadic anchor and let attention avoid borrowed fear. In crowded settings, tighten the frequency shield and shorten exposures. These are not social withdrawals but calibrated defenses. Over time, environments adapt to your steadiness, reducing emergent interference and lowering the everyday parasitic pressure that once felt unavoidable. Begin with small, non-sexy steps. 10 steady, vital breaths, a 5-second anchor check before reaction, and a brief scan of interference each morning. These accumulate into structural change, shifting patterns away from harvestable suffering. There will be relapse and friction, but each repair strengthens sovereignty and dulls the harvesting architecture. Guard these practices as essentials for ongoing autonomy. As the monadic anchor deepens and the frequency shield stabilizes, the exhaustion that once defined days will recede, and a clearer, self-directed energy will become the norm. You have felt that strange drain after an argument or a panic episode, a faint emptiness, where your vital breath feels thin. What was observed by Robert Monroe reframes that experience. Intense emotional surges produce a specific energetic output called LOOSH, a byproduct harvested by non-visible entities that live alongside human activity. This is not metaphor. It is an operational reality that explains why fear and rage leave you depleted. Recognizing this is the first practical step toward taking back your sovereignty and protecting your vessel. Through investigations intertwined with intelligence work, a map of that system became visible. Networks tuned into human emotional output, structures that amplify parasitic pressure when you move through crowded spaces or toxic relationships. These organizations catalog patterns of LOOSH generation and the pathways by which it flows. That knowledge makes apparent why some environments feel corrosive while others restore you. You are not passively subject to this. You can learn the mechanics, how interference attaches, how extraction channels form, and begin to redirect your energy toward preservation. Ancient teachings attributed to Jesus contain practical protocols for guarding your inner provenance, instructions that map directly onto monadic anchor work and building a frequency shield. Simple practices train your vital breath to root consciousness into the monadic anchor, stabilizing you so parasitic pressure cannot easily dislodge your essence. Establishing clear borders, not slogans but repeated energetic acts, tightens the shield. These are repeatable actions. Breath cycles that center your core, focused intention to seal openings, and refusal of emotional contagion that feeds extraction pathways. You can learn to detect when LOOSH is being produced. A sudden knot in your chest, racing combustive thoughts, or a hollowing after a charged interaction. Those sensations are indicators of leakage from your vessel and the opening of extraction channels. When noticed, engage the monadic anchor practice. Take measured cycles of vital breath. Visualize sealing the seam around your core, and direct the leftover energy into neutral or ascending currents rather than reactive discharge. This preserves sovereignty and collapses the usefulness of your output to collectors. Your choice of environment and relationships directly affects LOOSH dynamics. Some spaces amplify extraction channels, others attenuate them. Use the frequency shield proactively when entering crowded or charged places. Anchor your monadic core. Imagine a calibrated field that refracts parasitic attempts, and maintain measured vital breath to keep seams closed. Limit exposure to persistent drainers, and seek aligned vessels that stabilize rather than trigger. Remember that what appears social convenience can be mapped as energetic infrastructure. Decision and movement change how the global system can reach you. Intelligence-level awareness means there is operational attention on these flows, that awareness can be used to predict and sometimes manipulate patterns of harvest. That reality should not provoke paralysis, but sharpen prudence. Maintain protocols daily. Set regular intervals to reinforce your frequency shield. Train your vital breath pattern until it becomes automatic in disruption, and perform quick sealing rituals after intense encounters to collapse open channels. When personal practice becomes habitual, the capacity to be unreadable grows, and extraction systems find diminishing returns on efforts to harvest your LOOSH. The pathway away from unconscious giving is practical and immediate. Begin small, with breath, boundary, and intentional sealing. These build resilience faster than theory. Use the ancient counsel from Jesus as functional technique. Anchor your monadic core, close seams, and refuse to amplify reactive loops. Over time, these practices reconfigure your energetic signature so that extractive architectures cannot easily lock on. This process restores autonomy, allowing your life to be guided by chosen purpose rather than harvested output. Start today with one anchored breath and the refusal to feed collectors. You carry a familiar unease, a parasitic pressure that tugs at your attention and makes you seek protection. The ancient teaching revealed a practical technology, ways to conserve your inner light so it cannot be consumed by outside forces known as Archons. This is not about rules or beliefs. It is about the precise handling of your vital breath and the integrity of your vessel. Learn how to recognize interference, how to seal openings where light leaks, and how to reclaim sovereignty over what energizes you. Those who compiled canonical writings omitted this material deliberately, fearing the power such instructions gave ordinary people. Fortunately, the rescued Gnostic records preserve the steps, minimal rituals of attention, simple gestures to align your monadic anchor, and practices that erect a frequency shield around the vessel. These are not mystical abstractions, but repeatable, physical techniques for tightening the channel that carries your vital breath. You can learn to stop scattering energy, to lock the gateways through which parasitic pressure enters, and to hold light in place. Start with your vital breath, simple cycles of slow intake and steady exhale that reduce openings where interference slips in. Train attention like a tool, moving it intentionally rather than letting it be caught by every demand. Give shape to your monadic anchor by intentionally sensing a center that belongs only to you and returning there when pressure rises. Practice short, repeatable seals, a hand over a chest, a focused word, a directed gaze, small technical acts that tighten sovereignty and deny harvest to the Archons. In daily life, many forces act as siphons, relentless information, demanding people, environments tuned to extract attention. Each unguarded moment allows parasitic pressure to leach light from your vessel, leaving a hollow sense of fear and need for protection. The ancient instruction maps out how to interrupt these leak points, pause before engagement, set visible limits, and deploy a frequency shield that changes how much of you is available. These measures are simple, immediate, and designed to keep your energy intact amid modern interference. Salvation in this framework is practical and present, maintaining your light here and now rather than promising rewards elsewhere. Each time a seal holds, each time the frequency shield blocks parasitic pressure, you become more practiced at sovereign residence inside your own vessel. That practical skill is what leads toward illumination, not a distant reward, but a changing orientation to life where choices can serve light. Repeat these small technologies daily and watch decision-making, perception, and resilience reconfigure around the monadic anchor within. Archons operate like parasitic agents that hunt for open circuits of attention, converting scattered light into their fuel. When feeling drained, reactive, or perpetually available, recognize these as indicators that openings are present. Countermeasures are precise. Shorten exposure, Name the interference aloud to interrupt its pattern. Close channels with a deliberate breath, and reaffirm your sovereignty through a simple phrase that functions as a boundary. These actions recalibrate internal wiring, reduce parasitic pressure, and deny the Archons the harvest they seek from unguarded lives. This teaching is technical work, not pious posturing. It invites careful practice and measurement of results in everyday life. Start with small experiments. A shield at a door, a returned breath before answering, a 2-minute anchor, and note how interference shifts. Over weeks, these acts build a habitual field that protects light and restores sovereignty. The goal is simple and urgent: to stop being food for parasitic forces and to cultivate a steady, luminous presence in daily affairs. Practical proof that illumination is attainable here and now. You feel the tightness, the restless thought echoes, and the pull towards safety, as if something outside your control seeks to keep you small. What is experienced as fear or protective vigilance is often fuel for a parasitic architecture that thrives on your charged moments. Your vital breath and attention become a vessel through which parasitic pressure draws energy. Recognizing this is the first practical step: to notice where your life force leaks and where attention is surrendered to forces that prefer you reactive rather than sovereign. The Archons operate like technical parasites, tuned to harvest patterns of agitation and resentment, amplifying cycles that keep attention fragmented. The demiurge is the architect of the material shell, a false controller that substitutes a fabricated supply in place of the monadic anchor that naturally connects you to your source. Wherever that substitute is accepted, a frequency barrier forms, and a frequency shield of conformity stabilizes. Your task is to detect where the imitation passes for origin, because releasing that hold restores direct relation to the genuine field. Begin with simple practices. When your chest tightens or your mind loops, name the pattern and follow where attention travels. Track the path of your vital breath and notice if it funnels into outrage, worry, or clinging. Those are channels for parasitic pressure. Withdraw energy by shifting attention away from provocation, tightening your frequency shield around intent, and re-anchoring to the monadic anchor within the quiet center of awareness. Repeated shifts build sovereignty. Gradually, fewer automatic hooks will latch, and the parasites lose their predictable feed. Your solitary practice has immediate effects, but the real leverage is in shared coherence. When several vessels hold steady intent and maintain frequency shields, localized interference diminishes, and the parasitic network finds fewer receptive nodes. This collective presence shifts the ambient pattern, making it harder for the demiurge's narratives to pass as primary. Begin by aligning simple signals, words, rituals, or consistent posture of attention so that others recognize and join the shield. The emergent result is not vague hope, but a measurable strengthening of communal sovereignty. Recognize everyday institutions and relationships as components of the system, rather than neutral background. When a message, leader, or habit demands unquestioning devotion, it is often the substitute supply in operation, designed to redirect your monadic connection into dependency. Practice a pause circuit. Breathe to reset vital breath, scan for parasitic signals, exaggerated urgency, tribal scoring, or identity entrapment, and test if the offered solution restores sovereignty or further erodes it. Choose habits and alliances that return power to your vessel, rather than drain it into the apparatus. The work requires repeated calibration, not a single grand gesture. Create short anchor checks through vital breath modulation. Inhale direction to the center of presence, hold with steady intent, and exhale any collected parasitic pressure. Schedule micro resets before engaging with charged environments and refuse participation in ritualized agitation. Teach your circle concise signals for withdrawal and regrouping, so reunification happens on neutral ground. Over months, these small, consistent acts reorganize habitual attention patterns, making your vessel less porous and your frequency shield reliably operative. The path opens through doing. One disciplined breath, one refusal to feed provocation, one clear reorientation toward the monadic anchor. As these acts accumulate, the parasitic pressure around daily life will decrease, and familiar relations will shift to reflect genuine authority within each vessel. Expect clarity where confusion reigned, and steadiness where reactivity once dominated. The objective is practical sovereignty, to live with a restored line to source, to shield attention from counterfeit supply, and to coordinate with others who will anchor the collective field back to true purpose. You are a living electromagnetic organism, and your feelings are measurable currents that move outward from your vessel. When fear, anger, or helplessness take hold, those states become low-frequency signals that broadcast a dense charge. Archons are attuned to those signals. They harvest the charge produced by prolonged parasitic pressure. Awareness of this dynamic is not abstract. It changes how you regard moments of panic or rage, because each reaction sets a measurable output that others, seen and unseen, can tune into. There are tangible ways your output is measured: shifts in tempo, amplitude, and coherence of your electromagnetic field register as different frequencies. Simple detectors pick up fluctuations. More importantly, a practiced awareness reads those shifts internally. Pay attention to the speed of your vital breath, the solidity of sensation in the vessel, and the clarity of intent anchored in the monadic anchor. Those internal metrics map directly to frequency patterns. Learning to notice them gives you real-time feedback on the energy being produced and its nutritive value. Daily life is structured to amplify low-frequency emotions through deliberate interference. Repeated messages of scarcity, division, and threat create predictable reactions in the vessel. Those triggers act like tuning instruments, coaxing the same parasitic pressure into circulation so Archons can harvest steadily. Recognizing these pulses of manipulation is key to reclaiming sovereignty. When you identify the pattern, a recycled outrage, a manufactured scarcity, a fear loop, it becomes possible to enact a frequency shield, interrupting production and limiting the harvestable charge. When a surge of fear or anger rises, employ a simple three-step alignment. Notice the change without resistance. Slow the vital breath to lengthen the waveform, and bring attention back to the monadic anchor that holds intent steady. Slowing the breath alters amplitude. Settling intent increases coherence. These shifts are detectable and reduce the low-frequency output that feeds parasitic pressure. Practice this sequence during daily provocations and in crowded spaces. Repetition trains the vessel to default to sovereignty rather than reaction, shrinking the available energy for harvest. Progress is measurable. Begin by establishing a baseline. Note how often fear or anger hijacks attention and how long the state endures before the vessel settles. Call this a frequency ledger. Use simple devices if available to record field fluctuations, or rely on disciplined internal readings of vital breath and body tone. Over weeks, the ledger will show shorter durations and lower amplitude spikes as sovereignty strengthens. This measurable decline is not symbolic. Nutritive output falls and interference from Archons becomes visibly reduced. When multiple vessels hold steadiness, the collective field changes, and the yield for Archons diminishes significantly. Choose relationships and spaces that respect boundary setting and frequency shielding. Model calm coherence rather than amplifying outrage. That quiet discipline is contagious and undermines parasitic networks. Share techniques of vital breath alignment and monadic anchoring in trusted circles, so others learn to shorten their low-frequency episodes. Building such pockets of sovereignty alters the local ecology and makes it harder for interference to take root and reproduce. The practical secret is simple and radical. Your emotional output is a tradable commodity until you reclaim it through awareness and technique. Each pause, each regulated vital breath, each return to the monadic anchor lowers the nutritive signal that supports parasitic pressure. Start with small, repeated acts. Take 3 measured breaths before responding. Mark 1 daily ledger entry and practice a frequency shield in any heated exchange. These modest disciplines compound quickly, restoring sovereignty and making the vessel less hospitable to Archons while revealing the real value of your energy. You were taught to measure safety by external signals, yet what you experience, constant urgency, small victories that never satisfy, comes from a design that pushes your vital breath into continuous alarm. Systems are arranged to amplify parasitic pressure, so you become predictable, reactive, and dependent. That harvested output, sometimes named LOOSH, is the currency extracted from every moment of fear. Recognizing that your daily agitation is not personal failure, but engineered interference, is the first practical truth you need to hold. You notice the manipulation in small, concrete ways. Your vessel is overloaded with obligations framed as urgent, opportunities gated behind paperwork, and choices narrowed by manufactured scarcity. Each restriction is engineered to keep your attention away from reclaiming sovereignty. The design introduces layers of interference that interrupt your capacity to ground, fragmenting your attention so the parasitic pressure can flow uninterrupted. Learning to recognize these patterns gives you leverage. It reveals where practical intervention will shut down extraction and restore coherent agency. You have been fed narratives that convert ordinary uncertainty into perpetual crisis, scripts that trigger predictable outputs from you. When your responses are predictable, extraction is efficient. There is a practical counter. Cultivate your monadic anchor, a steady point of reference inside your vessel that resists external imposition. Use your vital breath as a measuring tool. Observe how patterns change when breath is steady. From that anchor, assemble a frequency shield, a simple set of boundaries and repeated actions that reduce interference and block parasitic pressure. You can begin practical dismantling by narrowing the touch points where your vessel hands over energy. Replace coerced transactions with exchanges that return strength instead of drain. Local skills, direct reciprocity, and small networks built around mutual sovereignty. Each swapped interaction reduces parasitic pressure and weakens the architecture that depends on constant output. When exchanges prioritize retention of vital breath and reinforce monadic anchors, your capacity to act increases. Over time, those microshifts accumulate, and systemic dependency becomes visibly less effective. Boundaries are not polite requests. They are technical instruments for preserving your vital breath. A frequency shield can be as concrete as fixed hours for exposure to external feeds, deliberate pauses before acting on provocation, and simple verification steps for any incoming claim. Treat each boundary as hardware, enforce it consistently, and note leakage. These measures reduce interference, lower the efficiency of extraction algorithms, and make parasitic pressure costly to maintain. The point is practical. Protect input channels so your vessel can rebuild amplitude and clarity. Your inner sovereignty becomes contagious when it is practiced publicly and patiently. Within aligned networks, monadic anchors compound. One steady person reduces interference for 10, and 10 steady people change local incentives. Begin by offering clear roles and shared protocols that preserve vital breath rather than drain it. When agreements favor reciprocity and limit parasitic pressure, institutions can be rebuilt on a different frequency. This is not abstract idealism. It is a stepwise engineering of social systems with measurable reductions in extraction and increases in collective amplitude. You must treat freedom as a project that requires maintenance, not a one-off revelation. Track simple metrics that matter to your vessel: breath of vital breath each morning, number of draining interactions allowed weekly, degree of interference tolerated before action. Use those numbers to refine your frequency shield and to test when sovereignty is slipping. Expect resistance. The architecture will push back as it notices loss of supply. Persist with steady measures, repair leaks, and you will see extraction slow and your capacity for clear action expand in measurable ways. You carry a constant, quiet transaction when identification with thought and feeling becomes consent. By treating passing images and emotions as who you are, your vital breath is threaded into an agreement that feeds outside forces. Those forces create parasitic pressure and fear that feels like a loss of sovereignty within the vessel. This pattern looks like reflexive reaction, compulsive thought loops, sudden defenses, and a hollow sense of being watched. Recognizing that consent can be given unconsciously is the first practical act of reclamation. Jesus gave practical directions that teach how to slip out of the automatic contract and return to the monadic anchor inside. Start with a deliberate pause. Let your vital breath deepen, and notice the thought or emotion as passing content rather than ownership. Name it simply, hold it lightly, and refuse immediate catering. Each pause reinforces sovereignty and weakens the contract signature. Over time, this creates an internal frequency shield that prevents parasitic pressure from latching and keeps the vessel aligned with authentic will. You learn to observe without becoming the content, a skill that cuts the flow of LOOSH that hungry entities depend upon. When a thought rises, note it as a transient waveform and do not offer emotional amplification. Let sensations register in your vessel without narrating a story that binds them to identity. This reduces interference and starves those patterns that draw energy. Practice until reactions lose their urgency, until fear no longer signs latent agreements. In that steady clarity, sovereignty is reestablished and predatory circuits collapse. There are decisive acts that sever signed agreements. A spoken revocation anchored by the vital breath, an embodied refusal inside the vessel, and a shift of attention to the monadic anchor that no contract can reach. Speak with clear intention that consent is withdrawn. Breathe through the statement to charge it, and let the body register the refusal. Repeat these acts whenever parasitic pressure appears. Consistent enactment rewrites the energetic ledger, dissolves hidden signatures, and returns authority to the center, where free will truly resides. Maintaining protection requires habit, an armor of daily frequency shielding, built from simple acts of attention. Each morning, anchor into the monadic center, feel the vital breath fill the vessel, and affirm sovereignty aloud or silently. Scan for subtle agreements, automatic loyalties to thought patterns or emotional scripts, and revoke them as soon as they show. Keep the shield active by refusing to feed reactive stories and by returning attention to pure presence. Over time, presence itself acts like a magnetic field that repels interference and preserves energy. Fear and parasitic pressure will test newly established boundaries. Expect attempts to seduce attention back into old contracts. When these returns happen, treat them as diagnostic signals rather than failures. Each return shows where signatures remain and where attention must be relocated to the monadic anchor. Use the vital breath to flood those areas with clarity, enact revocations, and strengthen the frequency shield. The practical secret is persistence. Ordinary repetition of these exact moves rewrites the unseen economy and yields a steadily widening field of sovereignty. Begin now with a simple, repeatable protocol. Pause, take 3 deep, vital breaths, notice the foremost thought or emotion, name it without judgment, and declare withdrawal of consent with steady attention. Return your focus to the monadic anchor and let the frequency shield settle. Repeat whenever a pull occurs. Over days, this becomes automatic, and the energy drain diminishes. Remember that the teachings point to a living technique, not a belief. Application secures sovereignty and changes the relationship between your vessel and the forces that once fed on it. You have carried a quietly familiar unease for too long, a parasitic pressure that tightens your breath and pulls at your attention. You are not broken, you are frequented. The secret revealed here is practical. Your frequency determines access. Raising your vibration toward love, gratitude, and peace alters the energetic signature of your vessel, so control entities cannot interface. This is not poetic. It is an operational law. Begin by recognizing where interference lodges, labeling it by sensation, and deciding to redirect your vital breath upward. Once attention is trained, the method becomes precise. Locate the habitual emotional nodes where parasitic pressure anchors, and breathe deliberately into each node with a sustained vital breath. Envision a Gnostic monadic anchor settling solidly at your core. This anchor stabilizes intention and resists external modulation. Maintain a steady cadence of feeling centered in love and gratitude while watching lower vibrations pass like static. This practice creates a nascent frequency shield that repels interference and begins the cellular rewrite toward light. Do not expect an immediate cloak that eliminates all contact. Evolution is incremental, and sovereignty is practiced. When a field of elevation strengthens, observers of control withdraw because their mechanisms require low vibrational hooks to function. You will notice fewer sudden emotional hijacks and less parasitic pressure when the monadic anchor is steadfast. Keep your rituals simple: conscious breath, consistent alignment with love and gratitude, and refusal to engage drama. Over time, the body of light thickens and becomes less permeable to intrusions that once felt inevitable. Practical sovereignty demands boundaries that are energetic rather than argumentative. State inner protocols, a soft, unwavering commitment to peace, and a default posture of observation without entanglement. This posture functions like a monadic anchor's directive. It filters signal from noise and denies resonance to parasitic patterns. When confronted by fear or manufactured scarcity, recenter through the vital breath and remember the frequency shield you are cultivating. Each choice to refuse reactivity compounds protection, teaching cells and subtle channels to harmonize at a higher pitch. Understand that elevation is also nourishment. When feelings of love and gratitude are cultivated deliberately, they provide informational sustenance to the vessel and support the growth of luminous tissue. This body of light is not mystical fluff. It is composed of coherent patterning that resists fragmentation by external influences. Track your daily inputs and prioritize experiences that amplify peaceful resonance. Notice what drains you and extract those patterns. Such curation accelerates the conversion from porousness to integrity, making the frequency shield more reliable in ordinary life. Recognition of sovereignty requires social recalibration. You will be tempted to explain or defend your elevation to those still engaged in lower vibrational dramas. Refusal to perform saves energy and preserves the monadic anchor. Maintain compassion, but do not dilute boundaries with endless explanations. When parasitic pressure seeks leverage, allow the frequency shield to reframe interactions. Respond from grounded love, not from reactivity. Over time, relationships shift or fall away according to resonance. This is not punishment. It is the natural sorting that honors the integrity of your vessel. The final secret is deceptively simple. Sovereignty is habitual. Daily repetition of breath, alignment, and refusal forms a durable monadic anchor that radiates at a pitch where control entities cannot find purchase. As the frequency stabilizes in love, gratitude, and peace, the bodily systems reorganize to support a luminous matrix. You become an observer of human drama rather than a participant, able to act from clear power without fear. Commit to this disciplined elevation and watch how protection becomes an emergent property of a sovereign life. You now hold the keys to your own sovereignty with the three powerful tools shared: the recognition of your energy, the conscious choice to withdraw it from the Archons, and the declaration of your divine right to exist without interference. The tools are in your hands. The interference no longer has a legal claim to your energy. By embracing this knowledge, you empower yourself to reclaim your essence and stand as the master of your own destiny. Subscribing to the Unwritten Word ensures you continue to receive these suppressed records. Here we do not interpret the Word. Here we expose what was hidden. This is the Unwritten Word. Your discovery continues immediately. A related record is available now for continued observation. Proceed.